Hey everybody, and welcome to a little bit of a Valorant explanation. Hey man, if you ever wanted to play this game, I'm assuming you've probably done a little bit of research about it. Asked some friends, maybe just kind of curious about the game. I've been playing this game for quite a while now, and I know how much it sucks to hop into a game with a bunch of different people who are really good at it, and you're stuck looking at how can I get better, or how can I be like them. Well, for starters, it's going to take time, but I might as well give you some basic information. So I don't think this video will be pretty long, just it's kind of simple. Anyway, let's get started. So when it comes to just simple firing, usually I have a crosshair, and usually it looks a little bit different than the one I have right here. Like if you press escape, go to your crosshair, and you look at there's different types of crosshairs. This is for your sniper scope. Usually you can adjust it how you want. Some people get rid of the dot because it gets annoying. I keep it so I know when I have a better accuracy. So if you're moving in any time in this game, you will have inaccurate shots. And yep, most of the crosshair here is if I went to here, and I can change my crosshair. Some of them are imported, and you can. I'll probably put the regular crosshair on the screen so I can show you the difference between mine and that one. Sometimes I've changed it up, and there's a little. I think I'll also put the command for copying other people's crosshairs in mid-game, because sometimes someone has a really good crosshair, and you're like, "Oh, that looks super fun to use. I'll do it," and you can use it. I usually stick with this one. It's a little small, but it's how I get accurate shots. It's really all about timing, so I'm just gonna put practice here. So usually your opponent's moving like that, so it's really all about timing. So, and also, there is also, this game revolves around tons of different guns. So, here's your gun menu. Tons of different guns you can choose from. Of course, each one comes at a price, and usually at the beginning of every game, there's a pistol round. You can either buy weapons or buy abilities. And just to give you a basic overview, these are all the characters you can choose from. Each one has a different type of ability, and each one has around 3 abilities each, and have 1 ultimate ability. Each ability does something different. Let's just say, this is Phoenix. He has this little thing. There is a proper name for it. It's called Curveball. And around these corners, if someone's charging at you from this angle, and they're not paying attention, you can flash them around this corner, then take them out. And also, if you're wondering where I am, this is the shooting range. This is usually where you do your tutorial. But in main games, you'd usually be going on a site. There'd be at least 3 to 2 different sites. In each site, if you're attacking or defending, you either have to go to the attacker site and plant a spike or a bomb. If I would suggest you go watch some cinematics. It gives a pretty good idea of what the game's mainly about. And if you don't, you can go watch someone else's channel. So sometimes most people will be doing this, and depending on where you hit them, like legs, do less damage. Body shot does a little bit more. Headshot, if I hit one, does a little bit more. Of course, I'm not the best shot. I don't usually train in this one, but usually you can train in the practice range if you really want. You can also crouch with control, and this might be a little bit different on console. I'm not sure how many people play on console, but I bet at least decent people do. Decent amount of people. So. And usually crouching increases your accuracy. Usually you get a focus. Usually, and also in game, you have teammates. So you're not going to be alone choosing all these different characters. You only get to choose like one. You got to rely on your teammates. Usually your teammates can choose 4 others, and there's different types of them. Like, for instance, Killjoy.
My ultimate is ready.
She's sort of this is what we call a sentinel. Sentinels are like defender types. And they can like shoot little turret. She can put her little turret down.
Turret out.
And it targets enemies. Just like this. But it can be destroyed. And you can also pick it up just in case you want to move sites or somewhere. But in the game, you will have a cooldown whenever you pick it up or it gets destroyed. Alarm bot. Just to say you're defending a site. If you're on the defender side and you're trying to keep everyone from defusing your bomb, you need to get this little alarm bot and place it where not many people can see it. More experienced players will know where it is and try to destroy it. But in my opinion, even if they do destroy it, you know where the enemy is at because it just shot it. So you can, if someone just say it goes off or if someone shoots it, you just talk to your team. You go, hey, someone's coming right down this hallway. I'm just gonna let you know that. And then you could guard it, or you could tell someone else to go there. Because everyone's so eager for eliminations nowadays. Usually it's easy to hit. It's different. And this one is a little bit of a different one. Let's just say someone's like hits your alarm bot. You're like, oh man, someone hit it. Throw one of these down. These are swarm grenades. And as soon as they hit it, lets out a field that it causes damage. It's only temporary. But you can do that to lower your enemy's health and you have a better chance of taking them down. Or if they're low enough already, that will take them out eventually. And also, you're probably curious, what is an ultimate ability? Ultimate abilities are abilities that are very powerful and take time to charge up through eliminations, and you can also gain them with little points down there. You see those little triangles? I'll probably zoom in if I can. And those are little ult points. Usually you can find those ult points on the map, or you can get them from eliminations, or you get them from when you get eliminated. And this Sentinel's little ability is this. It's called Lockdown. And you can do this. That's a giant field that will stun anyone who's caught in it. Like, for instance, if they don't get out of the way in time, they'll all be stunned. Therefore, they'll be able to use their gun. They'll be very vulnerable. And it doesn't last forever, but it makes them severely vulnerable and unable to do anything. Therefore, you get a free eliminations. But you better hurry, or else it's gonna run out and you're gonna get dunked on. So,
I'll come back.
So, most of the Valorant game, I'll tell you a little bit more about aiming. Aiming, usually you can keep your crosshair up. Usually you gotta focus on where their head is going. As soon as they stop, aim for that spot. But if you can't hit headshots and you're struggling to hit them, go for body shots. They're a little easier. They do less damage. But even if you die, due to the fact that you couldn't take someone on, the fact that you lowered them gives your teammates a better chance of taking down everyone out. And also, angles are a lot better. Like, let's just say, let's go up the stairs. Let's say like you're defending a site and you're hiding. Also hold shift to make your steps quieter. But if you get caught and it takes a lot longer for you to stop and look up. That's why walking around gives you better aim, because you can turn and instead of just like doing this, it takes a while to set up your attack. That's what makes you get hit really easy, because you're pretty much just an easy target. That's why walking around is easier. And some people say stay quiet, but only stay quiet if you're going to a site. Or if you're trying to be sneaky on site from the defender's point of view. So if you're like right here and they don't see you, you can take a couple down and then you can start moving again. Unless you really want to conceal your presence. Because some people really like to conceal themselves, like they take one out and then they leap away. Like, hold on. This is one guy named Yoru. He's the kind of guy that likes to do that. Let's say, like, he has this little teleport thing right here. He can place it anywhere he wants, or he can send it across a certain area, and it'll just go as far as it can. Of course, when someone lets it fly, you can make it go as far as you want. You can send all over the way there. If you have watched the cinematics, you might know who he is, and it has a cooldown. You see that around the thing right above my little ability bar? It's a limited time, and if you let it get to red and it runs out, you can't use it. But if you use it before that time runs out, you can teleport to that certain area. But if you want to make somebody confused, and you're like hiding around the corner, and then you hear them walk up, you fake a teleport, and they'll look that way, and they'll become distracted, and therefore you can shoot them down. But this is the cool thing, and also there's a little bit more. Different. It's I'm kind of going all over the place, but let's keep going. We already covered Sentinels. Phoenix. Let's just do Phoenix real quick. This guy is a duelist, a guy that's maybe the guy that's going to charge up and get the fight real easy. And also, sometimes your crosshair can be a little inaccurate. See how that was a little below it? My bullet was a little below it. That just shows that it's a little off. The game just does that. So you can download Crosshair X to help you adjust where your bullets are going. Because sometimes it gets a little wonky. Depending on the gun you're using, of course. We'll cover the guns in a second. I'm just going to go over basic abilities so you guys can understand how to use them real easy. So, abilities are highly versatile. Duelists have more like aggressive abilities that want to get in the fight really easy. Let's say, this is a little fireball. We call it a mully. If you're in the military stuff, it'd probably be called a mully. And you can throw it down, they'll make you panic and take damage, and then you can just run in and finish them off. Or you can use it, like if someone's defusing spike or something like that, and someone's like the spike's right here, and someone's trying to like defuse it, you can throw your fire there, take them down. And of course, you have the firewall, which can actually work as cover. And the cool thing with Phoenix is it will heal you when you are in battle. So if you're like running in, you need to heal, but you also need cover, and you just run through it. And then through the smoke, you can do something like this. Then you just come on blasting. And Phoenix's ultimate ability is a very aggressive one. This is called Run It Back. And once you do it, you can basically just run in and go crazy like this. Basically, you won't die, even if you get shot. And then after the timer runs out, or you get shot, you will return to the spot you activated your ults. So, most of Valorant is really, if you have played CSGO, it's like CSGO, but with abilities. It's really kind of hard to get into sometimes. Mainly because most of the player base is very, very toxic and will judge you by the slightest actions of each game. And sometimes I'm just doing this for talking reasons. You can improve your aim by either going to aim labs. I find, for some reason for me, you don't have to do this, but I find just going into games and keep playing gives me the best experience of how I can improve my aim. Like, see where I go wrong. Like, say if I'm like crouching and I screw up my aim, like, oh crap, man, I screwed up my, oh crap. And then I get one tapped. If you don't know what one tapped is, it's a swipe term for this. It's basically that, but with a single hit. Anyway, most of this game is really all about finding out which character you like to play, and are you willing to use them, and how you are willing to converse with your team. Voice chat is of course optional, but there's text chat as well, so you can let your teammates know, like, oh, I hit him for this. I hit this enemy or a certain amount of damage. Oh, I've hit this enemy. Oh, I've hit this enemy. If you played games before, it should be pretty simple, but this is for people that don't usually play games and are trying to figure out, how do I play these games? So, and there's another, and moving on to another type. These guys. This is Omen, and he is a smoke type. Basically, you can smoke off certain areas to prevent enemy vision. They say that someone's trying to come from down from like right up there. You can smoke that off. And just a quick tip: if there's a door right here, don't smoke like this, like cutting off the entrance, because they're more likely to charge through there. So, right this, do it like that in front of the doorway. They're not going to be willing to go through that because we could be literally anywhere, rather than just like if they go walk through the smoke and there's the entrance, because they'll have two places to look. Now they have multiple places they have to look for, and when they come out of the smoke or it goes down, you're just going to get blasted because they don't know where they're from. Omen has some special abilities, like a teleport. You can go up higher, go up on pretty high places. It can also give you advantage if you're trying to hide from somebody. And also, it's a good way to get out of sticky situations if you're, also you're getting shot at, you're trying to get somewhere, you can get the cover easy. And blind. You can use this on enemies for a certain range, and blinds them, therefore they're not unable to see. You take them down. And my favorite ability is his teleport. Basically, if a spike is down, like let's just say it's down. Say it's like down here. You're like, oh no, I need to get. Oh no, Spike's down here. I need to get it. You can do something like this.
Run. My ultimate is ready.
You can teleport to that spot. But if there's enemies there, you can do something like this.
Run. My ultimate is ready.
You can cancel it. So you can grab the spike and teleport back to your spot where you were here, and then plant at a separate site, allowing you more time and allowing you to set up your defenses a little bit better. Because let's just say it's like a 1v2. You're all alone and you're like, oh no, I'm outnumbered. And they both have spike. Your first job is just teleport to the spot. You teleport to the spot and go, got it. And then you cancel it and you're already at the other site. And then they realize, oh no, he stole the spike. And they're going to try and run at you, but it allows you to get a better positioning for you to actually take your enemies down. And positioning's everything. Because if you're like in a bad position, like if you're out in the open, sure, if you're like really confident with shooting, I won't stop you. But if you're not confident with shooting, you're either going to get obliterated by their entire team, or you're just going to not have it. It's like positioning, like say. If you it's really about paying attention to the enemy's movements. Let's say like there's like two people coming through here, and you're right here. They're either gonna know they're gonna come through here, and they're probably gonna be checking around. It'll be really like suspicious, but they're probably gonna check down this way first. And if there's two of them, they're probably gonna check down this way first as to see. Your first job is to take out one of them, and then it'll take a long time for this guy to turn around, so you just take him out too. Usually, if you catch them off guard, that's the best way to take someone out. People will obviously say, like, camping, ratting. That's usually a term for someone who just sits in the corner and waits for someone to come by. But I find it a decent strategy. Like, especially if you're new to the game, you're not too familiar with how it works, and you're not willing to do confrontational gunfights. I would be willing to do that too. I mean, I've done it, and I have no shame of it, so... It's really all about just simply, if you see like two people coming, you can tell your team like, hey, they're right here. And Z is the button for me to ping, but it could be different on controller. So you can press right here. Oh no, they're right here. There's like two people here. They can't hear your pings, but your team can. Then they're like, oh yeah, they're going. And then you're starting to entire gunfight. They start the entire gunfight, but while they're distracted, you can just go. People say ratting and camping in corners is a little bit out of whack, but I have to admit, it's a kind of a thing where you have to be very careful, because sometimes they have abilities that can track. Some certain abilities can track. Such as this guy. This guy is sort of like an observation one. He's also a sentinel. He can set up sight the way he wants. Simple tripwires to catch enemies unaware. Of course, tripwires are only good for certain spots. So for now, I'm just going to put one right here. And if they don't destroy it, it'll keep catching them. And it'll tell you where it's at. And once they're caught, you know where they are, and then you can find them. Camera. You can activate it for pretty much anywhere on the map. And when you shoot any target, it will mark them. And it'll only come off if you make it come off. You have to probably hold F or so, or whatever button's on the controller. I'll probably go back in and find the controls for this. And of course, they'll get knocked out. A cage. You can usually do something like this. But just imagine it's like that because the range is limited to where I'm at right now. So, you can activate a cage. And someone can be caught in it. Just, for instance, and whenever an enemy goes through it, it makes this giant noise. So they put that right here, and then we put this here. Therefore, you can take them out. Control them ability. I can't show you here because these guys just eviscerate midair. But when you throw it down, you need to throw it down on a dead, downed player, and it'll reveal every position on the map. So if you're camping in the corner and you hear that ult, and your best bet is to move, but of course they'll know where you're at. They'll know where you're coming from. So my best bet is it's sort of like fake it out, like stop it every time they're about to go off, but also keep an eye on where the enemies are at and stop. They'll assume that you're heading in the other direction, then turn around and try to go in the other direction. So when they try to like sneak up on you, you'll be ready. You'll go done. So there's a lot of abilities in the game. There's a lot to keep track of, and some of them are more skill based, like Jet.
My ult's ready.
I don't usually play her, but I'll show you. You can dash it. So if you're you can do it any direction. You can do it. She's sort of a speed type. And she also has a smoke. She can also do this. She's also a duelist. Her ult's a little bit... This is what I mean by more skill-based. You need to hit your shot, or you can... And by the way, if you lose all your knives, you lose all your knives. And this ult's kind of hard to get because a lot of people use Jet, and they'll be a highly used player. Some people will be better than others, but... And she also has this little side ability where she can float by holding spacebar, holding jump. I'll probably put these controls in it later. And one more little class I forgot to mention was Initiator. They sort of start fights. And I'll use Breach as an example. This guy, you're probably wondering, why does he have a flash? If he had a flash, wouldn't he be a duelist? Oh, the game devs thought, let's make like subclasses. Let's make not just the duelists who are running in to have it. And the cool thing about this one, instead of throwing around a corner or having to bounce it off a wall, it goes through the wall and blinds. This is probably one of the most useful ones. But if your reflexes are fast enough and you see it, and if you have enough mouse space, that is, you can probably do this, and you can turn around just in time to avoid this flash. But Breach also has a little bit ability. This can also, like, if somebody pings where an enemy's at, you can stun them temporarily, make them slowed and very easy target. And this sort of goes through a wall. Hopefully I can get this to work. I'm trying. If someone's on the other side of a wall, it's like, oh, he's right there. And you want to make him get out of an area. You can, like, someone's stuck right here, like, oh no, and they run out. They're gonna be very vulnerable. So you just go, or you let this little thing finish him off. And his ult. Basically, if you don't like anything within a certain area,
My ult's ready.
they can go and they'll be stunned for longer, and they're easy pickings. And of course, all these characters, you won't have them all right away. You will probably need to unlock them, or you'll just need to grind the game. You usually start off with Phoenix, Jet, Brimstone. Where is he? Brimstone? And Sova? I think that's what you start off with. It could be Omen as well. I cannot remember. I don't think it, I don't think it's Omen. But oh, and Sage, Okay, that's the last one. Human and Viper. No way, Viper's separate. Never mind. Sorry, my memory's failing me. Sage, Sova, Brimstone, Phoenix, Jet. I think that's who you start off with. And you need to unlock the rest. And of course, everyone has different abilities. I'll show you one more skill-based one. Chamber. He's sort of a cool guy. Very classy. And then you see this area right here? Every time this man gets a kill, you snap back to the spot he was at, so he won't get it annihilated by another team. And you can pick him up and move it. But of course, everything has a cooldown. And a little trip. Being a sentinel means he has to have a trip, or at least some sort of way to detect enemies. And if it sees an enemy, which I don't think it will, put it like right by the feet. Usually, when it goes off, it will cause a little field that will slow the enemies down, therefore making your shots easier to hit. And Sage also has that ability like that. I'll show that in a second. And by a skill-based thing, I mean this gun. It's a little harder to hit than most, mainly because the Sheriff, one of the harder guns to use. I'll get to the guns in a second. It's the only gun. It's the only revolver in the game that can actually aim like this. Aim down sights, as we call it. And his ultimate is like another gun that I'll show you in a second.
They are so dead.
It's basically a gun that will. You see that field? That's what will happen if this little trip goes off. And you have 5 shots to hit, which is the amount of players on your team, or the amount of players in the enemy team. And think it can go through people. Yep, you can hit 2 people at once. And it'll slow them down, allowing you to another shot. Keep making it easy. And the operator, or this operator, or any operator, you can, the chest and above is in 1 shot, no matter what. And you get 8 shots with this revolver. Anyway, I've neglected guns long enough. Let's look at the guns. Classic. You usually get this at the start of every game. It's a default gun you get. But there's a variety of other guns you can own. This classic is called a classic. I'll show you the specs real quick. So, if you look at the right side, it will show you the different areas where it will hit and how much damage it will do to each area. You're better off hitting headshots, but if you can't, you might as well just keep trying to aim for the body. And the shorty. A little bit of a more close range weapon. I've seen people use it like when they sit around corners and they jump out and go. Depending on the person or how much shield they have, which I'll get to in a second, it won't kill them. But if you're like really up close and you're sneaking up behind them, you can hit 2 people. Frenzy. I wouldn't recommend this weapon for starters, mainly because you have to sort of do it in slow spurts. Like if you hold it like this, your enemy will probably already have ended you. So here, so starting off like this, I suggest like, so something like this. Something with like holding down the weapon. Some people just start with just doing this. But in my opinion, that's not the best way to go. Ghost, as I was using earlier. A little bit more of an accurate weapon. I've seen plenty of people have used it. It's more of one of the more accurate weapons. And if you can throw your weapons down to trade with your teammates and whatever. Anyway, next one, the bandit. This was recently added, actually. A little bit of a weird accuracy. I feel like this gun's actually made for new people. Because it's a little inaccurate, but when you get close. I've seen pros even struggle with this weapon. Of course, the sheriff, as I was talking earlier. The sheriff's really tedious, but it does great damage if you hit it. 55, it'll hit you for 55 in the chest. Of course, damage I've done to these bots will vary depending on how the shield goes. I can also adjust right here. Usually a headshot at close range will take out almost anybody. But it's better off if you can try to... Since these bots only have 100 health, no shield. Usually if someone has shield, it'll probably take like 3 or 4 hits. So it's really all just about with aiming with this. You really gotta be careful because if you just... See how sporadic it is? It really reduces your chance. Yeah. So it's really all about like stopping, aiming, stopping, aiming, stopping, aiming. You can't aim while you're like, I think I've seen a video where you can like first couple of shots are pretty accurate, and as you go along, they get worse. So like first three or so shots are probably going to be your most accurate shots. Make those ones count. So if you miss, step out of the way. Step out of the way. Someone's just trying constant gunfire. Stepping out of the way will help because if they have constantly spraying their weapon, getting out of the way is probably your best bet. Unless they're using an Odin, which I'll get to in a second. I'll move on to shields. Light armor. Simple. Absorb 66% of damage taken. And your health will go down lower when your shield is hit as well. I probably need a way to be shot at, so... The range also has a variety of different ways to train. Which I believe... Oh yeah, it's a little parkour area you can do. A little cheer area. You can also test this little area out with your friends if you're really feeling it. There's a couple different Easter eggs and stuff from different parts of the globe and whatnot. Anyway, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. And in game, most people go with this regen shield because you see that little bottom left. If that shield gets hit, it'll recharge, just like in Fortnite. If you played that before, so when you get hit and you're hiding behind a corner, let's just say you're like, oh man, I got hit. Your shield will slowly recharge, and it has two charges. You'll get hit once, and it has to charge up again. And then after the second charge, the shield's gone. I could be wrong. Okay, I wasn't wrong. Cool. This one is a heavy shield. It can absorb a lot more damage. Most people still choose this because it's a regenerable shield, and you can usually just use it. So, let's get on to the main weapons. Stinger. A little bit of a spray weapon if you're a little not careful with it, and aiming down sights sort of like a burst. But I suggest you like get up real close to this weapon. It's really a close range weapon in my opinion. Long range doesn't really cut it. So, next up, Spectre. I do like this thing because it's sort of like I usually stick with headshots for this, but if you're really not feeling it, aiming down sights, only do this if you're sure you're gonna hit something. Like Chamber's little gun. Only do this if you're sure. If you're sure someone's going around that corner and you have a clear shot, then take it. Usually the automatic guns don't aim down sights. Usually keep your gun not doing this because you have a better chance of getting your shot. I do like this gun, mainly because it can actually rival some of the more powerful weapons, mainly because of its accuracy. Some people dislike it, but it's one of my personal favorite weapons, besides the Vandal. But, move on. Shotguns. We all love those. Close range, do a lot. Long range, won't do jack. So let's say like far back here. It'll take up quite a lot, and it's not going to do much. And if right click for slug shot, the farther you get, it's not going to work. So shotguns should be really only used for close range. So if you're like hiding in a corner, you go. Because you can catch people off guard with the loud noise, and the fact that you have a shotgun will make them scared because they have long range weapons. Not saying people can't use long range weapons for purposes like close range. People have come up with a lot with this game, considering how long it's been out. So, if you can also look up different tricks, this is just the basics. I'm no grand champion or something. I'm just a player that's generally good at the game. Anyway, here's the judge. It's sort of like a rapid fire bucky. Most people, when they use a character like that can move really fast, or it can surprise people, like Yoru, when he uses his ult, where I want to show you real quick.
My ult's ready.
When he uses this,
I'll handle this. My ult's ready.
you can go into Dimensional Rift. No one can see you, and you can run around, but they will notice where you are. You just gotta be very careful, and they can and then they can be stunned, and then you can go crazy. Bulldog, one of my old favorite weapons, until it's got a little weird. This is probably one of the only weapons I would advise. One of the only weapons I would advise aiming down sights for, because right here doesn't do much. But if you do this from a distance, like far distance. Say someone's like charging down a giant like corridor. You gotta look at. Try to aim for the head as much as possible, but if you can't, it's up to you. Something like that. Guardian. One of the other weapons I always suggest you should aim down sights for, but you don't have to. It's really all about skill. One single headshot will take someone out. Sometimes you need to. It's one of the guns you can use. You can use it at long range. That isn't a sniper. Here's some of the good ones. The Phantom. It's a good weapon. And also, if you're wondering why some of my guns look a little different, it's like a cosmetic sort of thing. Not all guns look like that. You'll probably get something like that with most of the other guns. You can buy gun skins, and sometimes there are free ones if you're lucky. But gun skins are not really important to this game unless you really want to just like have them for fun. Depending on the gun skin, they can really improve your aim sometimes. It's really personal opinion. You don't have to buy a gun skin, it's just preference. Anyway, it's really a weapon that's a little bit more silent, but it has a lot. It doesn't do as much damage, but it has a lot more accuracy. And it does a decent amount of damage, but the one that most people use is the Vandal. Yes, the gun doesn't always look like this. I just bought a skin once again. One bullet is all that takes, and the accuracy is probably what people love about this gun. Some people will only aim down sights just to improve certain types of accuracy, like if they can't see and they're trying to face like a sniper character or someone that's using a sniper. They usually try to do this and try to be careful. So we all just be careful. My next gun, Marshall. This one I don't suggest for beginners. Mainly because people tend to move around a lot, and if you're freaking out like, oh no, Oh no. Oh, I missed again. Oh no. Unless you're like, oh no, I can't. That's why I don't suggest that gun. This one, I don't suggest it for beginners either. Not saying it isn't a good gun. You just have to be a really good shot, and you also need to be careful. Because one hit to the body with this gun will allow for 140 damage, which is a lot if someone doesn't have shield or has a limited shield. 2 hits will definitely do the job, though. The operator. Just like Chamber's gun, it's pretty much the same, but Chamber's gun is better because it's an ultimate ability. And you can do this. Chesting up, same rules apply. And if you move too much, you're gonna miss. Be very careful with this gun. Some people probably have different ways to like aim a little bit better and make sure you hit your shots a little bit better, but in my opinion, it's really, I've seen plenty of people use this. It's very fun, but sometimes missing is just part of the game. I've seen even pros miss, and it's just happens. Ares, more of the high-powered guns, LMGs. I've seen even pros use this one. Aim down sights is another weapon you ought to suggest. Of course, the accuracy sort of falls off. Still have time to take you out, though. Also, when you hit someone, their accuracy drops. And also their movement slows down. This is probably another gun I aim down sights for. It's a heavy, high-powered gun. It's kind of expensive, but it's cheaper than the op. So if you can't afford an op, but you can't afford this, have at it. But remember, people accuracy can beat this thing. So if you're like aiming somewhere and then you're just like full rapid fire down the range, someone peeks it, and then you can't see, but then you get flash, you can't see, and they just hit you, you'll lose this gun. That's most of the guns, this is most of the abilities. Most of the game will be about communicating with your teammates. Usually about pinging on the map. If you press your map button, click this, you can even hold it down. See if you just say caution here on my mark if you want to charge out of an area. See if you need help. And you can say like, oh, I'm on my way. It's really all about pinging. And also, having proper settings. There are videos out there that will provide the proper settings for you to get better at this game. But as general advice, don't get too wound up with not being able to hit headshots. It's not that big of a deal. It's really all about doing enough damage to an enemy and dodging their attacks. Like someone hits, if they're really good, they can go like this. I said this for like good practice. You can try to improve your accuracy just by going back and forth. You can see how you improve your aim. Usually 2 to 3 bullets from any of these rifles will probably do the trick. But don't get hung up if you're just like, oh, I can't aim today. Don't get too hung up on it. We all have bad days. And if you're having a bad day, I suggest that if you're struggling with Val and you're like, oh man, I can't aim today. Like I was aiming so well the last couple days, but last week, but it hasn't been. I haven't been doing anything. That's your cue to probably take a break. Of course, you still want to play the game. It's really fun, but taking a break is really easy. Like I'm a guy that really gets overwhelmed by games. It's really not easy to play games a lot, to play the same game a lot. The single player games sort of overload me, but those ones sort of change and you can do like Ghostwire Tokyo. If you don't know what that game is, you're on my hit list of good friends. And that game has a lot of like adaptability and you can like upgrade your abilities, and you sort of get better with the abilities as you go along. It's sort of like an easy experience. Isn't like competitive mode, get locked in and play this game. It's sort of like, okay, you can chill mid-game. Chill mid-game. Valorant is a game that you can chill in. And you can be fully focused and fully engaged. Also, I forgot to tell you about this ability. It's a little clone. And you can sort of like, someone can see it, and if they shoot it, they get flashed. They see this. Unless they turn away. Anyway, Another piece of advice I'd probably suggest is when it comes to talking to your teammates, try to be as respectful as possible. I mean, everyone has their bad days. Just try not to say slurs or curse words, though. Well, curse words are probably fine, but like yelling at your teammates, going like, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this?" Or why, like, you keep yelling at them, go, why are you so bad? Like, why this? Why that? That will get you a little bit of a ban or whatnot. Basically, if you go here, if you press your escape button or the button to check your menu, there should be a little option that says report. It gives you an option to report somebody. You can also report someone for cheating or any sort of issues that you feel that need to be addressed. But don't over abuse or don't over report, because then your report will probably get ignored, and therefore you're gonna be the one in trouble. Anyway, Valorant is quite the giant spectacle. Like, hold on, I'll probably put this in the video. A bunch of different sites that you can see. Like, for instance, Haven. It's one of my more favorite maps. Some people disagree. It's just opinions. It happens. And one of my favorite maps because it's easy to have a fair fight in it. Besides the C site, that's sort of like have a fair fight with long range weapons. I like that. Sort of like gives you a fair fight. But Breeze is a little different. It only provides an advantage to the offensive, I feel like, and the defense is real weak because your angles are very limited. Now you're stuck going, oh, I can't do much anymore. So I think they nerfed Breeze a little too far into the ground. Man, I did like Breeze at one point, don't get me wrong. I found it a fine map, but some other people just found it difficult to play on. You can find which map you're good on. I'll probably put a couple pictures on here to show you the different maps. And it's kind of a real fun experience to see which map's your favorite, which gun is your favorite, which character is your favorite, because there's tons of them, and they're still adding more. Like, I think I'll show you one of my favorite characters. At least for me. Mine was Brimstone or Veto. Veto. This guy has a little ability. Put this up in the air. And basically, if someone's chucking a flash, an ability, literally anything, this will block it. It will take it out. This guy's a Sentinel, which doesn't really make any sense, but it works for my book. He also has a teleport, similar to the Chamber guy I showed you. But it has a limited range, just like Chamber. Teleport. Behind walls, behind anything. So these little things. It wouldn't be a Sentinel without trigger. And basically decays them. And makes them low death, so they can't hear anything. His ultimate ability is one of my favorites. Basically, I'll become immune to all flashes. Any debuffs, any attacks that come from any other characters. So the only thing people will be able to fight with you against is guns and knives, because it only blocks like radiant abilities. Like, let's just say, look at this. It only blocks fire, blocks her ability, it blocks mainly all abilities. Her knives will probably take him out because it's just chucking knives. Excuse me. And any attack will not be affecting this guy. That's the reason I like him. And he also gains regeneration if he ever gets hit. And it lasts for the entire round, which makes it even more fun to play with. So, overall, Valorant, in my opinion, is a difficult game to learn, but it has its upsides. I've met most of the people I play with nowadays on Valorant. It's a good community for certain people. I've met a bunch of chill people that play other games as well. We don't just play Valorant anymore. We play a bunch of other games like Marvel Rivals and a couple other games. And if you do want me to do an explanation on Marvel Rivals, I'll gladly do that. So mostly, Valorant is just a sight shooter that I do enjoy, because there's a lot of different ways you can improve on the game, and that's what makes it fun. Challenging games are fun because you can actually grow from them over time. Sure, single-player games want you to grow as you play the game. As you play the game super fast, so they throw you into situations which you get dying and whatnot, gets you to experience. So I guess in that sort of sense, multiplayer games and single-player games are have similar learning experiences. But hey, I think that's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments so I can take a look and answer them. I do like questions because allows me to see like, oh, what do people really have questions about? What do they really want to learn about rather than just the game itself? Anyway, I thank you for all listening, and I hope to see you in another explanation or another one of my series videos.